Laura Wilson from God Star Work here. Today is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas. And I am going to be making this little card here in acrylic paints. And I've put a little diamante on the star, and I will see if I tilt it around, you can see the iridescent medium just glowing on there. It is such an easy thing to do, and it always looks so effective doing that kind of night sky. And I have got a more detailed video on how to do this kind of night sky if you're interested in giving it a go. But I thought that was really pretty. So that is my Christmas Eve video of the snowmen looking up at the stars. So I really hope you enjoyed this little series, and it's quite sad really that it's come to an end. It'll be Christmas tomorrow. So if you would like to see how I made this card, just keep watching. Today I am on my day 12 of my Christmas card, so that means that it must be the 24th of December when you're watching this. So this has gone so fast, I can't believe it. So what we are doing today is I'm going to do an acrylic card today, and I'm going to do a night sky and some snowmen looking up at the stars. So the colours I'm using today are going to be yellow ochre, French ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, Quinacridone Magenta, and some white. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some purple, and I'm going to use some of this ultramarine and some of this magenta and make a nice deep purple colour. And I also am going to add a little bit of yellow because I just want to dull that purple down a little bit, so it makes it a slightly greyer looking purple. And then we're going to put it on the card. And you can get a paper towel because paper towels are a painter's best friend. I'm just going to wash my brush and then dry it a little bit, and I'm going to get some of this blue, the ultramarine blue. I'm going to get some of the phthalo blue. Get a little bit of the white. So I need to dry that off before I do the next bit. Now, because I am using my Atelier interactive paints, if I just start painting on top of this when I've only just dried it, it will reactivate the paint underneath, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to go over it with a bit of clear painting medium just to seal this layer. And then I'm going to dry that off again. Okay, that's all nice and dry now. If you're using normal acrylic paint, you won't need to worry about doing that isolation coat. It's just because of the type of acrylic paint that I use. Now I'm going to use a stiff bristle brush this time, and I'm going to get some of my white, and I'm going to use a kind of a scrubbing motion to do the light bits in the sky. And I'm also going to get my fan brush and water some of that white down and do some stars. I'm going to dry that off before I do the next bit. I'm going to get my round brush, which is a number 10. I'm going to use that clear painting medium, and I'm going to mix some phthalo blue with clear painting medium. So it's mostly clear painting medium with just a little bit of colour in it. And I'm going to go over some of the areas and fade them out with my finger over the white that we just did. And I can also get some of my ultramarine blue and mix some of the clear painting medium in that as well. Then I'm going to get a little bit of the magenta and mix the clear painting medium in that too. I'm just using my fingers to spread it out so that it looks all nice and smooth. There's no marks between the colours. And I'm going to use a little bit of that magenta in the middle there as well. A bit more painting medium to get it moving around. And just play with the colours until you're happy with what you're seeing. And then I'm going to dry that off and we'll do the next layer. So I'm going to get my stiff bristle brush again and my white, and going over the bits that I want to be the lightest. I think the trick to acrylic painting is actually lots of layers to get that dimension. Get my fan brush and do a few more stars again. And I'm going to dry that off. I'm going back in with my number 10 round brush, and we're going to do the same kind of thing as we did last time. Just get whatever colours we want and mix it with the clear painting medium. So I'm using ultramarine blue around the edges. And get some of this phthalo blue. Mix some more painting medium in with that. And get some of the magenta. Hopefully you can see how it's building up the layers of colour. I'm going to dry that off again. And we're going to do another layer of the white with my little scrubbing brush. So I'm getting smaller with the white each time and more detailed about where I want the light bits to go. And if there are any bits that you don't like the look of, you can always go over them with the white. And I'm going to put a few more stars on again. Not enough water on my brush so the stars aren't coming out. That's better. I can dry that off. Okay, so now I'm going to do the snow. So I'm going to go in with some of my blue, mix it in with a little bit of my purple, and grab some of my white. Now, one thing to remember about acrylics is that when it dries darker, unlike watercolour, which dries lighter. Acrylic dries darker than the mix, so you've got to keep that in mind when you're painting. purple in the snow. Now I want to make a really dark colour for the trees. Oh, I've got a tiny little spider crawling on my paint. Don't go in the paint, spider. That's the tiniest spider I've ever seen. I don't even know if you could see that. So I'm just mixing a little bit of magenta and the aquamarine blue and some yellow. And a bit of this phthalo blue. I'm going to use my fan brush to do these trees. I'm going to grab some of the white that we used for the snow, and I haven't washed my brush, so some of that other colour is mixing in. And just suggesting a bit of snow on those trees. I'm going to get my number 1 round brush. Just tidy up some of the edges a little bit. And the trunks of the trees. I'm going to grab some of this purpley colour and just make it look like there's a bit of a shadow under the trees, so they're not floating around in the snow. Going to dry that off. I'm going to do my little snowmen. So first of all, I'm just going to use some white. Because I'm not sure how light I want to make the snowmen, so I'm going to do the white first, and then I'll put in some shadows afterwards. So I'm going to go in with my number 2 brush. See, I always get paint all over me. I don't know how I do it, but I do it every time. And I'm going to go in with some of this ultramarine blue. bit of this pink. So I just want the snow to be reflecting the colours that I've got in the sky. And then get some of this purple for the shadow under the snowman. Actually going to water down some of that really dark one. So I'm just using water for that. That's a better shadow colour, I think. I'm just wiping the brush off with my paper towel. Going around the edge of that shadow. So I'm going to get some of my iridescent medium now. Now this step is completely optional. I just really like my iridescent medium. And I'm going to mix that with a bit of my clear painting medium. For a Christmas card, I think it looks nice to have a bit of sparkle. I'm just going to go over the snowman. And I'm also going to get my fan brush and make a few stars with it. But I don't want stars all over my trees. So I'm going to use my paper towel and just cover up the bits that I don't want my stars to go on. I use the cut out bits on the sides there. I won't get any straight lines if the stars happen to all blob in one place. So this will only show up when the light hits the card. So you can be quite generous with them because when they dry quite clear. And then I'll let that dry. My phone and my iPad and everything always gets splattered with paint. Luckily my camera is not getting splattered with paint. I'm going to get a little bit of cadmium yellow light and I'm going to mix it with a bit of this magenta. So I want to make some orange, but I don't want a really bright orange because they wouldn't suit the picture. And I'm going to put his little nose in, his little carrot nose. Tiny bit of yellow on his nose to help it show up a bit more. I'm going to use this dark purple to do his eye and his mouth. His little sticky arm. It's going to be a bit tricky to see. have to put some highlight on his arm so we can actually see where his arm is. And I'm going to get some bright red. This is Naphthol Red Light. Okay, I'm going to change my brush because that one's too small. I'm just going to use my number 2. Oops. Too much water on there, so I ended up with a big blob of water. Clean that off. I'll do his hair while that water's just absorbing a bit. Grab some blue, do a little scarf on him. And I might do some pink for little baby's scarf. Mix some slightly brighter orange, put on his nose because you can't really see it. Go in with some white. I've lost his eye, so I'm going to have to put the baby one's eye back in because I can't see it anymore. And I want to do a little star that they're looking at. So I'm going to get some of my white, add in some water, just so I can sketch it out with some watery paint first. I think I want it up here somewhere. And dry that off. I'll do a few little ones. And I'm going to paint over some of his hat again just to intensify that red a bit. I might leave some of it not painted over so it looks like shadow. Now I'm going back to my number one brush and into some straight white. Looking pretty good, and I think we've just about finished, so I will dry this off and make it into a card, and I might add a little jewel to that star there, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So here is my finished card. So I've stuck the little diamante on, and I think it's such a pretty card, this one. And I ended up making it bigger than what I planned because when I did the painting I went over the edges and I didn't want to cut all that off because I quite liked the composition with that much space, so I just made my card bigger. So, and I put a little bit of chalk around the edges so I don't have any white lines where I cut the canvas. So there is my little card finished. Merry Christmas, everyone. Bye.